want y'all to know something. This $5 Indian called me a wabo. Thomas, Oklahoma. Yeah, him. He called me a wabo. Now his ass finna get deported. I want to talk about something. This is gonna be the third video I make today. We're gonna talk about deportation. And no, this is not about the Mexican and Latino community. Notice how I said Mexicans and Latino community, because Mexicans are not Latinos. A lot of people think that they are. No, they're not. Mexicans are from Mexico. Latin Americans are from Latin America, South America. A lot of people think it's the same thing. No, they're all Hispanics, but they're all not Latinos, if you get what I'm saying. Now, I'm not really going to talk about, well, actually, I am going to talk about them getting deported. I don't like it. And I'm going to explain why. Because they're actual indigenous Americans. I do have a problem with indigenous Americans getting deported because they're indigenous to America. You can't deport people who are indigenous. Now, if you want to deport the people who ain't, aka that community, I'm going to call them out. Donald Trump is deporting Native Americans. And I hear a lot of people say Native Americans are indigenous to America. No, they're not. Those people are not from here. Black Americans are the indigenous Americans. If you're talking about the United States, Native Americans they're not from here. Their ancestry is not from here. They came over here. And I'm going to get into that because I made a video on who are the real Indians. I did. I made a video in the past about this exact topic. And the reason why I made it is because this YouTuber by the name of Thomas, Oklahoma, yeah, I'm going to call his ass out because he kept calling me a wabo. And I don't know if y'all know what a wabo is, but it's basically a black person pretending to be an Indian, which is the stupidest thing I've ever heard, which don't make sense. How do you call me a wabo when you don't even know American Indian history, dog? Because if he knew anything about the Seminole and Gullah Wars, he would have known you can't call a black person a wabo, because the Gullah and the word Seminole, the Seminole Indian tribe, is literally a bunch of runaway slaves. The term Seminole literally means runaway slave. But I'm not even just going to talk about that. Juneteenth is an American Indian holiday. A lot of black people don't know that. It was about Texas Indians who got freed from slavery. A lot of people don't know that. It was in Galveston, Texas. Y'all need to look this up. This is real history. Look that up and tell me. Let alone, a lot of people don't know about the Indian Removal Act. A lot of people don't know about the Negro Act of 1740 that classified American Indians and black people, or American Indians and slaves, as Negroes. It's just weird that they identified Indians as Negroes. If these Native Americans is claiming to be Indians and they don't have any Negro DNA, like, you can look at them and tell they're not Negro people. They don't look anything like us. They don't have our phenotypes, let alone you look at the ancient Olmecs. Look at those Olmec heads. You tell me that's not black people. They literally have big lips and wide noses. That it don't get no more Negro than that. And it's laughable. I think it's laughable that these so-called Native Americans who aren't even native to America, aka Eskimos, $5 Indians, pretendians, Thomas, Oklahoma, you one of them, gonna try to tell me, he literally has a video trying to debunk Olmecs, saying that they ain't black. And I'm like, dude, they got the same heads in Ethiopia. The Olmec heads are found in they found the same Olmec heads in Ethiopia. Now you tell me, do Native Americans look anything like Ethiopians? Do they look more like Ethiopians than us? Oh, and not only that, y'all, look up the definition of American in 1828. Look up that definition of American in 1828. Y'all are gonna find out that it's talking about American. It's talking about the indigenous Americans, right? And it's gonna say a copper-colored person, a copper-colored Aboriginal. I don't know if y'all know what the color of copper is, but it's a brown color. Copper-skinned people. Now, Guys like Thomas, Oklahoma, yeah, I'm gonna call his ass out. Like, I'm not gonna be nice to him because he doesn't deserve the benefit of the doubt for calling me out of, like, all I said was black people are Indians. And this man called me a wabo. And I took that as a slur. You're not gonna call me, ain't no Native American gonna call me no damn wabo because I'm not a pretendian. I know my actual history. My great grandma, full blood Indian. Just like all my other family members, full blood Indians. And most of them knew that. But what I don't like is when you let people like Thomas, Oklahoma say what he wants to say. Guys like that, they have no proof of any of their history, let alone when you learn about ancient Indians, they're known as tribalistic people. They were tribal. They did tribal dances. They did a lot of stuff. Now let me ask you something. Native Americans, do they come off as tribal to y'all? Absolutely not. One. Two, the Indians don't like the U.S. government. They were always at war with the U.S. government. And you look at black Americans and look at how many problems we've had with the U.S. government. There's no group of people that have had more problems with this government than black Americans. We have so many problems with this government. And there's a reason for that, because our history has always been like that. Ever since they came over here, we've been at war with them. Some wars is physical and some are mental. Right now, we're in a mental war. We've been in a physical, we've been in a spiritual, and we've been in a mental war with these people. And we tired of it. That's why I don't have a problem with Trump deporting these Native Americans and all these non-American people. Like, the people that don't belong here should not be here. However, with the Hispanic and the Latino community, it's a little different with them because they actually are Americans. They may not be from the U.S. area of America, but they are Americans. That's why I don't want them to get deported. They should not be deported. Now, the Native Americans and all them, nah, I'm not against Eskimos being deported because they're not from here. They pretend to be us. They've been pretending to be us. They have their own communities. They get to be segregated from the U.S. government. They don't pay taxes. I mean, it's so many issues with them being over here. And I'm going to be honest. I'm not a racist. But I will call people out when they just straight up lying. Thomas, Oklahoma, I called your bitch ass out. I called your bitch ass out. And if you think I'm lying, prove it. Like, I say it like this. If you can't prove me wrong, get the fuck out of here. Because I called your ass out and I proved that we was Indians. And you couldn't. You just kept calling me a wabo because you a bitch. You're bitch made. But I'm gonna keep that. I'm done calling his ass out. But how do y'all feel about Trump deporting the Native Americans? I want y'all to let me know. Y'all can respond to that. I made this specifically for y'all. I'm gonna let y'all respond. And no, I did not make this video to spit hate towards any Native Americans, because there are some Native Americans that actually are either mixed with Indian or they actually are Indians, and they had to go mix up with their community. But those pretendians out there like Thomas, Oklahoma, yeah, you get no spare from me. Dan Calloway been calling y'all out for the longest. The research guy been calling y'all out for the longest. Kirame Ahua, or Ahahu, I can't really say his name, my apologies. He makes videos on this stuff. If you got a problem with me saying black people are indigenous to America, go debate him, because he got books on it. This dude been teaching this stuff for years. You can't debunk his stuff. If you can debunk his stuff, I'll agree. But until then, you can't debunk it, because everybody, like, when you read about any Indians in these books, none of them look like these Native Americans. They always describe Indians. If you actually read these history books, the people who actually wrote about the Indians they encountered, they said they was all Negroes. They was dark skinned. They were real tribal. They did tribal dances. Now, when you look at black people, you telling me we not tribal? We got Crips and Bloods. You can't put too many of us in the same room. That's why it was so many different Indian tribes. But when Columbus came over, it wasn't just one big tribe. It was a bunch of different tribes because we had different factions. We did different tribal dances. That's why you see the Crips do the Crip walk. You see the Bloods do the Blood walk. A lot of people don't know this. Crip walking came from Indian. That stuff is Indian history. Not only that, when you see people pouring out alcohol for their dead homies, when you see black people do that, that's an Indian custom. A lot of people don't know that either. And I was like, I'm so sick of these natives pretending to be us. That's why they walk around with these damn costumes on, trying to act like us. They know they not us. They was never us. And I'm not with that pretending stuff. So you $5 pretendians like Thomas, Oklahoma, get the fuck out of here. That's why Trump deporting y'all asses. I don't want to hear nothing. But yeah, this video's out. And no, this was not a video for hate towards anybody besides Thomas, Oklahoma. But that's why I mentioned him specifically. I specifically mentioned him because he wanted to call me a wobble. Anybody who's going to call me or any black people a wobble, get the fuck out of here, because we're not wobbles. There's no such thing as a wobble. You can't be a $5 pretendian if you're black, because we're actually indigenous. You look everywhere else in the world, you look at the indigenous people, they're all dark skinned. It's just weird that in the U.S. they tell us the Native Americans was here first. It's just weird to me. We the only country in the world where the indigenous people ain't dark skinned. But that's neither here nor there. Yeah, but please like, comment, subscribe. It's your boy A6. And no, this video was not for hate. So anybody who's trying to say this is for hate, no. I called out Thomas, Oklahoma specifically. I also wanted to add this in the video. He now has a video titled Native Americans History with Rock and Roll. We all know who created rock and roll music. It was black people. Y'all had nothing to do with that shit, man. Get the fuck out of here, bro. This motherfucker keep lying in his videos. And what's weird, he's finding books about Indians. And the people who are depicting them, these Spaniards who are drawing these Indians, it's just weird that they're drawing them with afros, and now he's saying that they're lying. I mean, his videos are just completely laughable. They're completely laughable, and he has no merit to it. Like, it's just weird that they're depicting Indians with dark skin and afros, and he's saying, oh, well, that's not true. But, I mean, these are the Spaniards who came across the actual Indians. And it's just weird that Jamaicans, Trinidadians, and people in the West Indies area, they're called that area is called West Indies. People don't understand why it's called West Indies, because they're Western Indians. And this dumbass has no knowledge, and he doesn't know anything. But that's what people like him do. They just lie. That's what they do. That's all they can do, because he wants to lie about history, because he's jealous that he's not a real Native American. He hates the fact that his whole history is a lie. He doesn't want to be honest about it. And that's what I can't stand. I can't stand people who are liars. There's nothing worse than a liar. The liars are literally the worst group of people. But yeah, I call this ass out. And until he can prove me wrong, I'm not going to believe a damn thing he say. I'm one of those people. If you say I'm wrong and you can't prove it, you're a liar. You're a liar until you can prove that I'm guilty. But okay. Please like, comment, subscribe. Oh yeah, and this is just the last part of my video. Don't waste y'all's time and watch this dude's garbage videos, because I mean, his videos are filled with lies. And he even made a post talking about how Trump is deporting the Native American phenotype. That's funny as hell. And you know what I told him? I was like, you called me a wabo. It's just weird now y'all are getting deported. It's crazy how we're supposed to be Africans. They ain't deporting us. That's just weird to me, man. But y'all are indigenous, and he's taking y'all off the indigenous land that is supposed to be supposedly y'all's. But okay, Thomas, Oklahoma, yo ass. I told you, y'all are pretendians, not us. We never was pretending. You called me a wabo. Guess I ain't so wobble, huh? You funny as hell, boy. You funny as hell. But I'm on your ass now. I'm on your ass now. And guess who else on your ass? Donald Trump. That's hilarious.